Yeah. Okay. So even though you hear, oh, 1% annual price decline doesn't sound so bad, depends where you live. In
Well,
some places, it's a lot worse.
and Adam, let me actually just jump in. A 1% average price decline is actually a massive deal because we were told 2 years ago that these housing markets would just keep going up forever. So the fact that we're actually seeing values decline officially is a huge deal. And it's going to be a gigantic wake up call to many sellers in the housing market in Texas and Florida who are watching this video. They might not know yet that the market is in decline, but as 2025 goes along, they'll see the evidence. And I'd just like to show you actually a graph here indicating what we're seeing here in some of these housing markets in the Southeast. But for your viewers, it's very important to understand the bifurcated nature of this housing market. If we just look at Florida, we could see at the pandemic low, there was 49,000 listings in Florida. Now there's 152,000 listings, and this listing count's likely to go up by more. You could see it's the highest number of listings in 7 years in Florida. You could
Highest in
see if we
7 years
go
and triple where it was in the pandemic low, right?
exactly. So this pandemic low, you could also see in Texas, the same thing happened. 46,000 listings during the pandemic low, which is ultimately these low listings caused the boom in prices in the subsequent years. Then inventory slowly rebounded. Then it rebounded a little bit more last year, but take a look in the last 12 months. We went from 93,000 listings in Texas to 115,000 in just a year. And that's also easily the highest level going back almost a decade. And so the other thing to understand, Adam, is that the housing market operates on a lag. So this inventory spike we're seeing now has yet to be felt in prices. It's only starting to be felt in prices. So when we say values in Texas are down 0.5% or 1% year over year, that's based on what the inventory was a year ago, right? Now we have even more supply, even more days on the market, which is going to push prices down in 2025, especially with how much home building there is in these states and how many investors are now selling.
Okay, great. So that's where I want to go. So it seems like in Florida, Texas, the key thing that has changed has been inventory. And obviously lost supply and demand, more supply, demand per unit is lower. You know, people offer less because they've got more options, right? Um, so I think the key question here is, okay, inventory is rising. It's a lot higher than it used to be. Has it peaked, or do we have years of even greater inventory ahead of us? So can you tell us what's driving the inventory here? You mentioned a couple of things. You know, these were very popular states, so developers were, you know, going hog wild, building units there. Is it, you know, new units are coming onto the markets from the builders? Is it that there are weak-hand sellers like institutions, institutional owners, or say short-term rental people that are realizing I'm not making any money off this thing anymore, time for me to dump it? Or is it people, regular homeowners, who are just unable to afford to keep the houses anymore because the cost of homeownership's gone up?
It's literally everything you just said, Adam. And again, I want to be clear for your viewers. What we're talking about now is started in Florida and Texas, but it's a sign of things to come in the rest of the South. So also in states like Georgia, Tennessee, Arkansas, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, even in the Mountain West, Nevada, Utah, Arizona. All of these states kind of follow the same trajectory as Florida and Texas.